Here with one of the busiest men the last couple weeks and weeks coming up, Nazim Richardson. We're here at Bernard Hopkins Media Day here in Philadelphia. Before you get to that, obviously, people still talking about Saturday night and Shane Mosley. What were your quick thoughts on what happened or what didn't happen on Saturday night?
Well, like I said, this is primarily the same situation in boxing. You know, if you guys have small disputes about the direction you want to go into the ring, everybody got to be on the same page. You can't wait till something goes wrong and then decide to get on that page. You know?
Were you surprised about the lack of, I guess, a lot of people saying lack of effort for Shane to try to win the fight?
Listen, that little dude is a special cat, and what you see in these dudes, hey Sergeant, what you see in these dudes is when he hit these cats, man, everything changes. You know what I mean? And like I say, Shane's a tough kid, but Pacquiao special. I mean, so.
Obviously, you've gotten close to Shane over the past couple years being his trainer. If I know it's not up to you, and I'm sure he'll do what he wants, but would you advise him to maybe call it a day?
Well, it's his call, but if you're going to compete at that weight class, you've dealt with the best in that weight class, and you see now you match up against it. This is a different era, you know what I mean? So if you see that's how you match up in that era, then maybe it's time for you to do something different. But the call lies on the man. We didn't tell him when to get started. How do we tell him when to finish?
Do you see him being the prideful athlete that he is and a great career that he had, or still has had? He hasn't retired or anything. You know, I don't know how much the networks are going to want him for more than his name for an up-and-coming guy.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just throwing you to them kids. And it's difficult dealing with them kids, man. See, one thing these guys got to come to understand and stick around this long. The kids you fight now, they grew up on you. They grew up admiring you, so they get up for the event. You know what I mean? So, and that's what you got to come to understand.
You were in the corner for Shane against both Mayweather and Pacquiao. The $100 million question is, what's Nazim Richardson's breakdown if that fight ever does materialize?
Well, Mayweather and Pacquiao? Well, I feel like what we had in place for Shane, everybody gonna want to fight him now. I mean, after you seen the Shane Mosley fight, everybody, I exposed him. You know how to beat him now. You know what I mean? I asked my guy after the fight, I said, the way you got hit the first time, did you ever get hit like that again? He said, no. I said, so that's why you heard me say to him one time in the corner, okay, the debate is over. You know what I mean?
So you would lean toward some Mayweather if that fight ever happened?
Like I said, right now, I think people are going to watch that DVD, man, and if Pacquiao don't make some changes, they're going to see he has problems with certain things.
On the business for May 21st with Bernard, obviously, we all saw what happened the first fight. I had him winning 8 rounds. Other people had him winning 9 rounds. Do you have to change anything, knowing that how much success that you guys had, or is there something that, I know you're like I said, I've told you many times, probably the best strategist in the game.
If I knew him, I'd borrow something from him.
Is there anything different that going back after watching the tape that you guys need to do, except maybe not get knocked down twice?
For this particular outing, primarily, Bernard Hopkins just has to be the best Bernard Hopkins he can be. Pascal doesn't match up well with it, you know. Now Pascal can try to jump off the jet and do something crazy, but that could fall into his detriment.
Psychologically, Pascal trying to feel his oats a little bit the last couple press events. Do you think Bernard, as he's done so many times before, has gotten inside this fella's head?
Well, the public is starting to harass Pascal. They're giving him hell over there in Canada about his outings and the press conferences he had with Bernard in the prior fight. So they've been on his back a little bit right now. So right now Pascal's got you trying to respond to him.
He's a guy who's not really an active guy, is Pascal. Do you feel he's going to have to try? He's going to try to do that. Maybe that leaves himself open for one of the best counter punchers of all time to maybe do something special on May 21st.
Listen, I can't tell you what Pascal's going to do. Pascal looks across that ring, man, and see a legend in that ring. Pascal got problems on his hands. You know what I mean? He's got problems that I would want on mine. So I can't tell you what their game plan would be.
The body work, I think, is what turned that fight around, the first fight. Is that game plan number one? Go right back to that body?
Well, Bernard, like I said, Bernard Hopkins just needs to be Bernard Hopkins. That's more than enough to handle this particular project. this particular project with this particular young man. All Bernard Hopkins has to do is be the best Bernard Hopkins he can be, and then they get problems with him.
Well, Nazim, you had a big night Saturday night, being that you were with Shane, and then your nephew Carl Dargan wins, and you got this May 21st, and Steve Cunningham coming up late June, July possibly. Lot going on with Nazim.
It's just boxing, baby. Trying to find a way through, that's all.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.